make the call on Degoe. Does he play for the Saints in 2023?
Carl Amon didn't come to St Kilda because of what's happened to Bradley Hill.
Lenny understands the game so well and the different midfield roles. Saints fans, welcome back to Saints TV on a very, how would I describe this? It's a very peaceful Monday.
I wonder why.
Evening. A very serene Monday evening after no disappointing loss or no exciting win on the weekend. So we're all just feeling quite at rest here at Saints TV. I know there was much less stress over the weekend worrying about the football and getting to it and how we'd go and worrying about getting into finals, because now we don't need to worry about it anymore because we're not there. So, without further ado...
It's a bright start.
it's a great start. There's lots of news to talk about, boys. Yep. There's lots of news to talk about, which is fantastic. All the fellas have headed away off on their footy breaks over to Bali and whatnot, and enjoying themselves over a quiet couple of cans of Coke. So, I just want to know how you boys are going. How are you, Marshy?
Yeah, Marshy.
Oh, yep, lads and listeners. I'm going fantastic. And Joycey, if I may, it's not very often that I'd pull you up on your sublime intros. However, there was an exciting win on the weekend. In red, white and black.
You know, that is so true. That is so bloody true.
Oh, scrumptious. And of course, for those who've been living under a rock, neighbouring next to Joycey, we've got the Saints AFLW kicked off their campaign against the new Swans on the block. And
absolutely.
There was a couple of things that the blokes couldn't do. We had a number 12 kick straight.
Yes.
We had a team sing the song with such excitement. Such gusto. My goodness. Whoever is teaching those girls how to sing the song, please get in the men's shed. And third, being able to beat Sydney. That's nice, isn't it?
In Sydney?
In Sydney.
Well.
Yeah, 100% winning record against the Swannies. So that was lovely. And, but no men's program. Definitely helps one walk a little bit lighter.
Yes, definitely.
Jaggy boy?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good, boys. It's good to be back in the studio. I'm still buzzing from some of the news from last week. The number 7 returning. I'm still a little bit in disbelief, just the video the club put together. If you guys didn't see it.
I did, yeah.
If you didn't shed a tear or get a few goosebumps, I reckon you're not a Saints fan, because that was amazing.
And then the talk with Jack Steele as well at Hyde Park, just sitting on the bench, having a chat.
Was it Jack Steele or was it just Lenny looking in a mirror? That's
exactly right. They're so similar.
Yeah.
So similar. So if you haven't seen the footage, go onto the Saints YouTube page, so St Kilda FC, and have a look at that interview between... What was it? What's it called? Talking
people? Or
you'll find it.
It was that good we actually don't know what it was called.
Yeah,
but
exactly. We're too encapsulated. We were just,
I actually didn't see that one. Give some little breadcrumbs.
So it's just Steely and Lenny sitting on a park bench together, just chatting about captaincy and their careers and their similarities and differences. And we really forget that Steely's first year in football, he was under Lenny Hayes at GWS. So Lenny Hayes being the assistant coach there, that was my favourite part, where Lenny was like, I remember you came into we sat down at a cafe and you broke my heart about 7 years ago, but it was very truly on the mend when you said where you were going. So, it was. It's a great little interview, so I highly recommend you watch it, Marshy, because it's just, it's very peaceful, isn't it?
It is. I reckon it gives a little hint as to what can be expected in the way that Lenny's gonna coach the boys.
That's right, because it wasn't all friendly.
No.
Was it? There was Steely, I know you're really good at the sort of leading by example in terms of captaincy and whatnot, but maybe lack a little bit in terms of your vocal side.
Exactly.
Oh, was that going into that on the video?
That was going into that, and
right.
Lenny was like, that's where I struggled as a captain as well, and that took a while for me to come into as well. So, they were actually having a really, really honest chat, and it was very much led by Lenny. He was asking some... and giving some really good sort of little criticisms in there of the club. So it's like, there's obvious things that he wants to come in and fix, which is just so exciting.
Because this is probably the first time since maybe Hamill that we've had a favourite son return in a significant role.
Yeah.
Would that be fair?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Hamill.
Yeah.
No one else has really been in the club
No,
in any capacity.
not really. They
have
all go off to other clubs and we're heartbroken.
Yeah, like Harvey, no. Rui, no.
I remember Maxie Hudson went off to
Maxie Hudson
Collingwood.
went away.
Yeah. So, in terms of like significant appointments, I think this is probably our biggest.
Yeah, someone who
sure.
cares about the club, which is just fantastic. You know, he's not there for a paycheck. He's there to
He's a good coach.
settle his debts.
Like, he was good at GWS. They played in a grand final there. That's when their midfield was at its best.
Yeah, and then they drop him and then GWS turn shit.
It's exactly right. That's what I tell everyone. They're like, oh, is Lenny really that good as a coach? I'm like, this is the years that he coached at GWS.
Yeah.
This is their midfield performance in that time.
Yeah.
Then he left. Since then, they've been absolutely
He
shit.
left, at the start of 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Took a
part
year
of the
off.
cuts.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
Part of the COVID cuts. So, I mean, everyone was talking about how Leon Cameron wasn't that great of a coach, but, you know, a team doesn't get to a grand final if they don't have someone there making the calls. And, you know, I feel like that could have been Lenny.
Yeah.
And, anyway, to have him back at the club is just massive news. I mean, he was my favourite footballer as a kid, so...
Who do you reckon he's going to take under his wing, like, out of sort of like the younger blokes?
Windy, 100%.
Windy?
It's got to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely has to be Windhager. They play such a similar brand. Just all-out guts. But I think Lenny understands the game so well and the different midfield roles so well that he's going to take all of them under his wing, you know? Like, he's not going to pick out his favourites or anything like that. He'll let them know, you know, try this week. You know, this is your role for the next 5 weeks. See how you go, that sort of thing. Like, because Machado Owens as well has showed us that he's not scared of anything, you know? And then Wanganeen Malira is just this silky outside player who, you know, Lenny's played with heaps of them.
That's it. It's not just about Lenny's experience, like, as a player. It's who he's played with too.
Yeah.
And so he'll be able to see differences and similarities in, like, you know, you play like a bit of a BJ. You're a bit like Nicky Dowell, but he did this, or, you know, just little tips and tricks based on his experiences. So it's going to be invaluable for our boys.
Oh, completely. But, speaking of Marcus Windhager,
yes,
AFLPA, MVP, and all these other awards happened during the week.
50 awards. It took 4 hours to get done, but anyway, bloody hell.
Exactly right.
I reckon I was driving to the women's footy dinner, and so it's about half an hour, and it was on the radio, and I reckon it's a half-hour drive, and I reckon we didn't even get like one announcement of what the award. They kept on like, we're going to come up to, I think it was Charlie Curnow, like the Coleman.
Oh, they went. Then they went
just dragged out for so long.
Took a 40-minute break and went to 360 so Robbo could get his 2 cents in, and then they went back to.
It was painful. It was so painful.
Let me tell you guys, this Australian team is just phenomenal. I mean, you look across the, you know, let's start here. Okay, forward pocket. Okay. Charlie Curnow comes out and wins Coleman. Who, if you said to me at the start of the year that Charlie Curnow was going to come out and win the Coleman medal, I said, you've been on the juice. You've been on the juice.
Take it easy, Robbo.
Anyway, so speaking of Marcus Windhager, came third in the AFLPA first-year player. Best first-year player. He came third. So that's Nick Dacos.
And Martin.
De Koning?
No, I think it was Nick Martin.
Oh, because that was his first year. So De Koning's
De Koning
played.
was in the Rising Star.
Rising Star.
They had best young player, best first year player, Rising Star. They're all like the same
best
award.
Emerging player.
I was like, as if Nick Dacos isn't winning all of these. But anyway.
So true. But so that was great to see that he came third in that award, which is just fantastic. We've seriously got some young talent here. But speaking of top-tier talent, no greater award as a halfback flanker that you can get than the All-Australian. That is just...
Sinclair.
That blazer, it sits so well under the mullet.
It really does, yeah.
It's so nice.
I think they chopped off a bit of the back so I could just...
the back.
Yeah.
Jack Sinclair, congratulations. Just massive, massive news from, you know, an AFL perspective. But for a club that's been struggling to get all Australian players over the past 10 years.
This is the first one we've developed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Since,
absolutely.
like,
Rookie.
Since, I don't know, what, like Rewald and those
Yes.
fellas. So
Exactly
over
right.
10 years.
Yeah.
It's taken a while, but
It's taken fucking ages. So, you know, and he was, as he said, he was on the rookie list, which is just crazy. You know, he was pick 4 in the rookie draft. And you compare some of the other names in that draft that have never come close to an All-Australian.
Yeah.
Like, that is just ridiculous. So Jack Sinclair defied all odds throughout your career, and you've gotten to this point, and you're only going to go further. Like, that is just
20th
so
Saint.
awesome.
The 20th Saint to be All-Australian.
Only
that
the
all?
20th.
jeepers.
There you go. So we can't even field a full team of all Australians as St Kilda.
No.
That
And
is
special mention Cal Wilkie as well.
Yeah.
making
Didn't get
top
the
40.
cut. I actually thought he might sneak on the bench, but maybe next year.
Oh, there were so many that should have snuck on the bench.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
there
there
were
were a
so many
few.
snubs. Like, for one, James Sisley
No
should have been
wings
there.
either, again.
No wingers.
Even though Kane Corns, he was one of the selectors.
Yeah.
He said, we're going to pick him on position. No.
No, you're not. You're just gonna
No,
put
you're not.
shitloads of midfielders in
Yeah.
there.
Sneak
And,
right
and not
there.
that it makes like a huge difference, but it's still. I know that last year we were a bit aggrieved that Steele wasn't on the field, so it was good to see Sinks recognised
Straight away.
on the field.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And he can also swing through the midfield. So, you know, all Australian selectors would have had a stiffy over that. So, anyway, congratulations to Sinks. That is just awesome work. Moving on now to, I guess, talking about delistings and what we reckon is going to happen over the next few weeks once the boys come back off of their break. There's a lot of contracts that are still up in the air. We still haven't put pen to paper on a lot of players. But I think, first of all, before we bring up anything, we missed this last week. Now,
Shame on us.
shame
I
on
know.
us. We're having a rushed episode last week due to some technical difficulties.
I actually gasped in the car on the way home after the potty when I realised the magnitude of our ways.
No one pulled us
Shocking.
up on it, though, which was very surprising.
Yeah, well, they will
Maybe
now.
they were very kind.
Yeah, I think they might have been being kind.
Yeah.
Or we just, we encapsulate them so much that they just tend to forget that there's bigger things going on.
True.
Yeah, so Paddy Ryder,
Yes.
Yeah.
a big thank you from Saints TV and all Saints supporters just for the work that you've brought to the St Kilda Football Club over the past 2 years. You got to remember, boys, like in 2020, we couldn't win a game when he wasn't there.
Yep.
You know, we could barely win games when he wasn't there. So he won us that game against the Bulldogs in that elimination
that
final.
final.
You know, that is just blood to the St Kilda jumper. That is the red in the St Kilda jumper. So
It was just like that moment was such bittersweet, wasn't it? Because
was.
he just won us the final, our first final
know.
in 10 years, and at the same time was in tears because he's hurt himself and
Yeah.
he knows he's out for the rest of the year.
yeah, he's just passion through and through, and we are so upset, but so happy for his time at St Kilda. So Paddy Ryder, just thumbs up. Well, can you boys think of a moment where you go, "Oh, that is just like." That is my favourite Paddy Ryder moment at St Kilda.
There's so many of them. Just, I think, actually witnessing him live for the first time, that he's easily, at least in my lifetime, the best ruckman we've ever had in terms
Yeah.
of pure craft.
tap work is
Yeah, the tap
beautiful.
work.
Yeah.
Like, it's... just seeing him for the first time, just like how high he got up and just the craft to be able to appreciate it. I
Yeah.
think that paired with just seeing him on TV in that 2020 season, we're like, what is this? We have never seen this. When was the last time we had a good ruckman like that?
Oh, long time.
Yeah.
Long
Like
time.
maybe Spider.
Yeah.
Maybe,
But,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
testing
'Cause
the old
Michael
Archers.
Gardner was good, but he wasn't that tap ruckman.
No.
He was a workhorse that pushed
Yeah.
forward and just
That's right.
smash blokes.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah, I don't know. You've just seen him do like the Robbie Gray move. But
Yeah,
for
even
us.
to,
Yeah, remember against
Billings, against Hawthorn.
When he did it out the back to Gresham, and Gresham's done this ridiculous snap on his left foot.
I still think
from
the
about
Billings
50.
one
The
was
Billings
better
one
against
was just-
Geelong. That was
oh.
unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
And he
So
kicked
good.
the 2 clutch goals at the end to seal us the
set
game.
shots, yeah.
So beating
Yeah.
Geelong is good enough, but
Yeah.
Paddy had a big say
Yeah.
in that one.
I was going to say, he's one of the best set shots I've ever seen as well.
Yeah, just simple.
Just simple.
So relaxed.
No fuss. He's like, yeah, I got this. Done this 100 times.
And he's just an awesome bloke. Like, I went
Yeah.
to the club on the Saturday before the Sydney game.
Yeah.
With Marshy's family there as well, which was good fun. And everyone kind of stayed, like some of the players stayed out, took some signatures, a couple of photos. Paddy was out like 40 minutes after the last player went into the rooms. He was just chatting to everyone, taking photos with everyone. Yeah, luckily enough, like I got up to him and got to have a chat and took a photo with him. And then an hour later, the club basically announced like he's retiring. I'm like, bloody hell, like he took the time because he knew like he's finishing up. I'm going to enjoy this, chat to every single fan, take a photo with every kid there.
Yeah.
Such a just big heart.
Yeah, that's exactly
from
right.
Paddy.
He has probably had the biggest heart out of anyone that's come to our club from another club that I've seen.
Easily.
The biggest heart.
He only played 38 games. It felt like he played 200 at the Saints.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It was just immediately so important. And
Yeah.
I remember when we first picked him up, there were some sections that sort of saw him as like the steak knives to the Dukes trade, and people weren't really that pumped about him because we had Marshall, and people saying, oh, he's going to take Marshall's spot and stunt his development. But I remember the first interview he had on SEN, I think it might have been, where he was just pumping up how much he's going to be. His appointment is to develop Marshall.
Yeah.
And he's like, by me being there, he's a young fella. He's not going to have to go wear all the hits or as many. And, you know, whilst I'm there, he's, you know, they say the mark of a good person is when you come into an organisation, you leave it better than when you arrived.
Yeah.
And he's certainly done that with Marshall.
Certainly.
You saw that with Marshall's work this season when he's had to go solo and he sort of got over his niggles.
Yeah.
He had about a 3 or 4 week patch of form that was probably up there with Marshall's best in terms of ruck work.
Yeah,
spot on. Yeah.
Definitely. Like getting 30 to 40 hit outs per game.
Yeah.
A lot of touches too.
Yeah, exactly right. So, Paddy Ryder, we love you. And in terms of my favourite moments,
Yep.
I hate Port Adelaide.
Oh, yeah.
I hate Port Adelaide.
Oh, yeah.
And those couple of goals that he kicked against Port Adelaide, and that dribbler.
Yeah.
That was just my favourite. And he's gone over to the crowd and given it to the crowd, and all the boys are getting around him like, this is just the best. Like, you know, we hadn't won a game at Adelaide Oval full stop. And then to come out and beat Adelaide, and then Port Adelaide, who at the time, and that season finished on top of the ladder.
Yep.
That whole season, they were on top of the ladder. And we just made it. He just made them look stupid.
He did.
Yeah, it was just so fantastic. So,
funnily enough, I think that was the patch of games that Sinks finally got called up.
Yeah, it was
against Adelaide, and then he didn't look back.
That's a good call.
I was going to say, and I just remember like probably having a bit of a riff with you, Marshy, about whether Sinks was up to it or not.
Yeah, well, who called
Suck
it?
eggs.
Bullshit.
Was it me that called
He's having
it?
a laugh.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
I was Team Sinks.
I'm pretty sure I was the one that said, "Oh, he's gone at the start of 2020."
Sorry, Marshy.
I was Team Sinks.
I'm sorry. Suck eggs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, one special. This is a big divert, but one off-season special. I reckon we should listen to our first potty and just like
Compare the
pair. Like, you know, sort of do it. What do they do? That like the
pilot.
Nah, not the pilot, but like
Director's cut.
I don't know what I'm
Where
trying
we
to say.
commentate.
Yeah, like when you
Director's commentary, or
yeah, but it's like a movie about it. It's like with the Inception.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, I was not
within a pod.
A pod within a pod. Yeah.
It's the P within the pod within the P.
Yeah.
Of the
Because
pod.
I reckon that's when we went through our list, and I had Sinks as my breakout player.
I think
there you go.
that was also the same pod. We said Wilkie All Australian, so we weren't far off.
Oh, yeah, there we
no.
go. We saw it.
Yeah,
We saw it.
we'll try and get Paddy on for a chat.
Oh,
when
that'd
he's,
be great. That'd
when
be good
he's-
to get Paddy on
when he's
for a
keen
chat.
to
Yeah.
chat some footy.
Absolutely.
Because like a couple of weeks ago, I think we were sort of going through our list management and like, you know, all of that sort of stuff and positions in the admin level, and that we needed a sort of like a hype culture person.
Yeah.
It's got to be Paddy Ryder.
Oh, it's got to be Paddy.
Can we get Paddy in an official role that where his KPIs are heart, intensity, and just connectivity?
Yeah.
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 He'd be able to do it.
Oh, definitely. Now, speaking of, so he's retired, but in terms of delistings, we've had Dara Joyce.
Yep, Joycey.
Who's we've delisted. Thank you for your time at Saints. I mean, it's always interesting to see Irish players come over and and have a crack at AFL football. I feel like if he was maybe born in Australia and grew up playing the game, he'd be a serious footballer. But, he's got all the athletic ability and the timing in the air for a spoil as well. So, just wasn't quite up to it. But apparently just a very lovable character, and the boys down at Sandy absolutely loved him. So
I feel sorry for him because and there's talk about other clubs definitely looking at him, and I can see why, because he's not a fullback. He's not a centre half back, but is that third tall defender?
Handy. Yeah.
I reckon he definitely could do it, but that seems to be a position we're pretty flush with.
Brisbane wouldn't mind having him on their list at the moment because they're missing Marcus Adams.
Oh, yeah.
You'd put Joyce in that spot straight away, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and someone that's not scared to fly at the ball.
Big, mature, just put him in.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking about defenders and, being able to defend, Josh Battle has, throughout the year, conceded the least amount of goals from any key defender.
Well, there you go. So
the AFL.
That's why it makes it hard for the likes of Adara Joyce to burst into that third tall defender.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Battle just owning it.
Yeah, he conceded 17 goals in 21 games. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's
That
good.
is so bloody good. The amount of weeks he must have held his direct opponent goalless, just ridiculous. So, Josh Battle, congratulations. You're conceding under a goal a game.
Based on those stats, you'd think when the best and fairest happens in the next couple of weeks, he'd be top 10.
Oh, he'd be up there. He had a couple of games where he's taken 15 marks and having 20 disposals or whatnot. I think the only thing that we were worried about Battle this season was his disposals. And, he worked it out by the end and got going. So
he looked very comfortable towards the end.
Yeah.
And we just recently sort of signed him up for another 2 years, didn't we?
Yeah,
We did. Definitely.
That's good.
Definitely keep him around. He's, I think he's always been on the precipice of potentially going to other clubs, but he doesn't want to go. Like, he wants to stick around at St Kilda. He loves the club, and we love him, and he's a talented individual, so he'll only get better as well, and he's still got plenty of football to play. Like, he's still got, almost another decade in him.
Forgive my ignorance, but was this his first season settled as a backman? Or did that happen last year?
It didn't. No, it wasn't last year. Last year was the year we were annoyed that he was on the wing and being thrown around.
Okay, yeah.
This was the first year.
It kind of seems it's like lean it this year as that player, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Without a position. And, but this year he's been a key defender, and he came out in the preseason and said, I'm a key defender this year, and that's how I'm going to play, and just nailed it. And before we go into contract talks and everything, but speaking about goals conceded and everything, us and Carlton were the only two teams throughout the year to not concede a player kicking
5+ goals.
Yeah, kicking 5+ goals.
No player kicked more than 4 against us.
Which just means that our defence is fucking good right now.
It's definitely the least of our concerns.
Yeah, that's
exactly right. And they always say you need to build a good team from your back line. It's the best way to build up a team, is build it from your back line. And, I think Corey Enright coming in and doing his thing has really juiced that up.
Full credit to him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's just gotten Jack Sinclair and All-Australian.
That's exactly what I was going to say, yeah.
So
no surprise that our All-Australian is in the back line.
Yeah. And
Best part on the ground.
And our 2 squad selections were from the back line.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what makes Lenny's appointment even more exciting, because let's just say that if by having a gun person in that position, like an Enright, if Lenny can do that for our midfield, so then the most important position for me is who's going to look after our forwards.
Definitely.
It's got to be someone good.
Because it's the part on the ground too, when you look at it, that has the most potential. Like the most potential to be the game-changing part on the ground. It's not the midfield. It's not the back line.
No.
It's the Higgins, the Butlers, the Kings, Marshalls, Membries, all these guys. You're like, who could tap into all of them and get the best out of all of them at the same time?
Yeah.
Not just
We're still
one
waiting
or two.
on that, aren't we?
We're waiting for all 4 or 5 forwards to explode in one game.
Yeah.
It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it'll be interesting to see what we do in terms of forward line coaches over the off-season. In terms of delistings, and still players yet to have a contract
Benny Long
signed. Benny Long.
What's happening there? He's like the Battle now, where I feel like there's a lot of clubs that would love to get him.
Yeah.
But I feel like he wants to stay. and
Yeah.
it's just I don't know why it's taking so long. I feel like just give him another year.
Like, is it unusual for this many to be out of contract? Because it feels like
Feels weird,
previous years is maybe 4 or 5, but
Yeah,
there's
we've
about
got a
nearly
lot.
10 or
Yeah.
thereabouts.
Yeah, so let's go. Ben Long, no contract.
Burns.
Ryan Burns, no contract.
Jones,
Jones, no
Jones.
contract.
Higgins.
Higgins, no contract.
Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins is
Shit.
out of contract.
Yeah. You've got Patton.
Is Patton out of
I'm
contract?
pretty
sure?
sure Patton's out of
I
contract.
thought he signed earlier in the year.
Did he?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Do we have a list of thereabouts?
I reckon we'll get it up during the break and we can maybe go into that.
Yeah.
But in terms of signing on people,
Mason Wood is out of contract.
Mason Wood out of contract. Tom Campbell out of
Campbell,
contract.
Yep.
And he's been selected in the squad for the VFL
There we go.
Yeah, he had an awesome
Australian
year down
team.
there.
So I've got the list here.
Yep.
Yes, obviously Ben Long, Hanbury's finished up, Joyce finished up, Dean Kent's one, who's retired.
finished up. Yeah.
Jack Bytel as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Higgins, Lynett, Geary finished up, Wood, Ryder finished up, Burns, Campbell, Jones, and Highmore.
Is
Highmore.
Is
Yeah.
Highmore not bloody
Nah.
signed up? Oh,
Nah.
goodness gracious me.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
To be
a lot
fair,
of
even
players.
North, well, obviously no surprise, North Melbourne have got a shitload that aren't signed up.
Yeah. Well, let's go through our list there
Yeah.
and talk about who would be disappointed to lose and who we can go, okay.
Yeah, we'll do it now.
Yeah.
Ben Long, I'd be disappointed.
Oh,
obviously.
so disappointed.
I'm taking a shit at RSEA if we don't
Yeah.
sign him up.
And I'm lighting the bag on fire.
So Hanbury, Joyce, Kent, they're all finished up. Bytel, I'd be very disappointed. Especially
Bytel, I'm
especially
not-
with Lenny. I just want to get 1 year under Lenny.
I think the
Yeah.
risk for Bytel is Windhager.
But that's good. You need competition.
You
Yeah, but
do.
he's had competition the whole time he's been there
Yeah.
and still hasn't got a game.
But he's doing all he can at Sandy. What else do you want from him?
Well, I suppose he's he's been injured for a lot of the year. How many Sandy games did he play?
I reckon he's played 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's had 25 plus in most of them.
But he's
Yeah.
been injured since we picked him up. Like his back was cooked. So
So yeah, if he could hold his horses and accept the 1 year deal, because would you give him 2 years, Jake?
I'd give him one.
Give him
Yeah.
one. So I think that's the sticking point. The Bombers are
Probably giving him 2.
yeah. The Bombers are offering 2. That's pretty widespread.
Yeah.
But,
Here you go.
you got to keep him.
Yeah.
got to keep Higo, yeah.
Um,
But there's got to be a clause in there for Higo as well. Well, he needs to know his role.
how many years do you give Higo? 2?
I'd give him 2.
Yeah, 2.
But you seriously need to take care of Higo,
Yeah.
you know.
Line it.
I'll give him another year.
Give him another
more
year,
year.
definitely. Oh, that
He's Mr. Fix-It.
Yeah.
he is Mr. Fix-It. Yeah, yeah.
Geary's retired. Mason Wood deserves it off
Yeah,
the back of his
yeah,
last
yeah,
month.
another
One
year.
more.
Yeah, another year.
Yeah.
One more. Paddy's finished up. Burnsy. Now,
Yeah, that's
he's had some chances, hasn't he, boys?
I think I've seen enough from Burnsy, as
Yeah.
harsh as that sounds, to that if he was to leave, I'm not getting that upset. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Tom Campbell.
Keep him, sign him on for another year. Now that
deserves
Paddy
it.
Ryder's gone,
yeah,
and he's the amount of numbers he's getting in the VFL plus his game against Sydney.
It was good. It was very
Really
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
because the other game he came in and played was the Port game, and that was definitely not a ruckman's game.
Oh, that was
Nah, that was a
shitty. I
terrible
don't really
call.
wanna
We could have
talk
gone
about
in
that.
with. Could have put Ben Long in the ruck. It would have been better.
100%.
I like that.
I reckon he could do all right.
He throws some knees into some
Here we
ribs.
go. There's some 2 big ones here. Tom Highmore.
Oh yeah, buddy. As
Sign
if
him
he's
on.
not signed up.
Yeah.
2 years or 1?
2.
I'd go 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the big one. Zachy Jones.
Zachy
Nah,
Jones.
What to do
Uh,
with that? What a conundrum.
That is yeah, well said.
Be interesting. Yeah, I
'Cause
suppose
he's on big money.
He's on big money.
because Lenny. I dare say Lenny would be having a chat to a few of those lads.
The big profile ones.
Yeah, in the middle. Yeah, what are your intentions with your football career? Because Jonesy, he was definitely a disappointment this year. There's
Yeah.
no denying that.
Yeah.
It was good to see him hit a little bit of form against, was it the Swans or the Lions? The Lions.
I think it was the
game?
Lions.
The
The
Lions.
Yeah.
But
Could we flip, could we put him at, because his form at Sydney was off halfback was very good. Could you flip it and go Zachy Jones at halfback flank sinks in the guts? Could you try that for?
Yeah, but Sinks has
You
been
wouldn't
so
do it?
good for
I
us
know.
off the back line. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mess with it.
There. Okay.
And if like sort of an issue in our game plan, ironically, our game plan, we want good kickers.
Yeah.
Jonesy isn't a very
No,
good
he's
kicker.
not a very good kicker.
So I think that's probably what the Swans identified.
Yeah.
So what we would delist him? You're saying?
I reckon if we can't get any nibbles, I reckon he'd definitely be of value to another team.
Yeah.
But for us, with the ones coming in or coming up, I don't know. A fully fit team, like you throw in a Caulfield and Clark and Gresham and all of that. Is Jones in the best 22?
I don't know. You almost think Windy's on the edge of going past him.
Well,
Yeah.
Or almost already.
Almost. Yeah. I was going to say he's
No
hitting the
offense,
scoreboard.
Yeah.
He's hitting the scoreboard. He's
He's laying
got a kick.
tackles. Yep.
He can tag
Yep.
if you need him to. So
he's
he's got
better
a
at
more.
ground.
He's
at
got
getting
the more
ball out.
complete game.
Yeah.
Jonesy's good when it's a frenetic open game,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
but in a final, like if it's locked down and ugly, you're like,
I think Windy does it. Yeah.
Windy probably takes the
Yeah.
cake there. So,
So
I don't know.
I reckon if we don't get any serious knocks at the door, maybe the 1 year.
Yeah.
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 Give him that opportunity and go, well, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't
This
be
is
for
the-
the same money.
No.
No.
Pay cut. There you go. Brutal, but yeah, we'll see what happens, eh?
Yeah.
See how close we are to those.
Just to wrap up on this segment before we go into some junk mail,
Yep.
the talking point throughout the back half of this year across all media platforms and All Saints forums, JDG,
Oi.
The JDG.
Oi.
the Jordan DeGoey.
Just wanna
What's happening?
I love that when Marshy broke the news and then I released it the next day, everyone's like, bullshit, this ain't happening. And then the next day,
Yeah.
the very next day,
Yeah,
the media comes out and goes, the St Kilda board has got approval to now go for Jordan DeGoey. And I'm like, you
there we go.
listen to the man, listen to the emperor,
That's
everyone.
exactly right.
Nailed
He's
it
got
again.
intel. That smile can get you anywhere, mate.
4
Yeah, that's
years,
it. Yeah, a little
4
sweet.
years, 900 on the table.
Well, we can't be putting Zachy Jones on decent money if we're doing that.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You almost think if he arrives. But I
Yeah.
mean, we're going to lose Hilly, who we haven't mentioned yet, but
Yeah.
he's definitely off to North.
Yeah.
That releases that money for
It actually gives us
DeGoey.
more.
So you reckon Hill's definitely gone?
I think he's definitely gone.
Yeah, I think he's going back
Yeah.
to Clarko.
I don't think getting Lenny or anything will
Yeah.
persuade him.
So
I think he wants
just-
to change.
And can I say as well, in terms of Hill going, and this is going to sound harsh, but there's a lot of Saints fans out there who can have that on their shoulders.
100%.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
the way that he's been, dealt with on social media has been fucking deplorable.
100%.
So, you want good players at our club. Hill wasn't coming in to be the Messiah, and you think that he's coming in to completely change the dynamic of this football club rather than just play his role every week, that he's going to be our star player and everything like that. I mean, maybe we blew up his tyres a bit too much, but shame on the people
Yeah.
who come out and abuse him game after game.
Even the
for
games
not
where we've
delivering.
won and he's played all
Yeah.
right. Like, he wasn't the star. He wasn't the worst. He
Yeah.
just went out and just
Nah.
did his job.
Yeah.
That people still weren't satisfied.
Yeah.
I went back a couple of years just out of curiosity, and I looked at my posts in the lead up to getting him, like the rumour mill and,
Yeah.
Brad Hill, apparently an offer.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what the comments were like, and if it was back then, it wasn't like that. Everyone was like, good get. Ooh, this is looking good. Like, it was
Yeah.
all really positive.
Yeah,
Yes.
we
It's
finally
completely changed.
We landed, a blue chip player,
Yeah.
and this is how everyone carries on.
It's just fucking ridiculous.
So maybe it's because we're not used to, good players.
No, but we're looking
coming
for
to
the
us.
Mr. We're
Yeah.
looking for
We're
the Mr.
looking-
Fix It, and when
yeah.
they're not, and when
Yeah.
they turn out to not be the Mr. Fix It, everyone gets real frustrated. Well, the fact is, it's like you can't take it out on the player.
No.
You got to take it out on the game. We're not being good enough to this bloke for him to perform at his standard. We haven't figured this bloke out enough, because he was fine under Alistair Clarkson. He was fine under Ross Lyon when he knew his role.
Yeah.
And then he comes
Yeah.
to St Kilda, and then all of a sudden, we're throwing him fucking everywhere. Mm-hmm. So,
And he's gone from teams where he's kicking into players are leading to him.
Yeah, it's open.
So now he's been. People say that he's been put in an easy position in halfback flank. Bullshit. He has to. The amount of kicks that he had to do where he's threading, he's parting the seas because there's no open space in front of him, and he's hitting these, really risky business kicks. And all right, 7 out of 10 they hit the target, and 3 don't. Everyone just wants to sit on those 3 kicks that he's missed.
But it's even better than that. It's 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And he'll do 1 during the game that'll fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. And I bet you a 6-pack that Carl Amon didn't come to St Kilda because of what's happened to Bradley Hill.
Yeah.
I reckon that's 100%.
His mum's gone, nah.
Yeah, it's just like, unfortunately, you don't want to be a black fella and come play for the Saints at times, it seems, because I've said it before on the potty that I firmly believe that there is a fair element of racism in how Bradley Hill was sort of treated by some sections of our supporter base.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Well, there was that massive blow up a couple of years ago with that bloke who on Twitter. So you're definitely right there. And there is definitely a racial element, and there is no fucking room for it at St Kilda. There's no room for it at Saints TV. So if you want to say something like that, you fucking find yourself another channel. Yeah. Because, we've had a gutful. And we refuse to have blokes like Brad Hill, who we all know off the field and on the field is a top-notch gentleman. So... Yeah.
So that said, if he leaves... What are you content with? Because
to get back?
Well,
from
because some people seem to be content that the whole package, like in terms of that, they're paying out his contracts
200,000 to 300,000.
No, in terms of we're not paying anything for him to pay. So they'll absorb his whole contract. Yeah, and some people are saying that that's a win. In what universe?
From what I've heard, what we're going to get from North is going to disappoint everyone. It is not going to be anything.
It's like their pick 50.
It's going to be a pick 50 plus, and it's going to be a salary dump like Treloar.
Oh God!
And they're not going to give us anything of value because they're going to say, well, we're taking his $900K a year now, so you can enjoy that. Go give it to JDG.
Yeah,
we're done. See you later. Yeah. That's what it's going to be. We're not going to get a second rounder. We're not going to get a first. We're not going to get Cam Zohar for it.
No,
it's not going to happen. No. I'm calling that now. If things can change.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised, but from at this point in time, we're not going to get much back.
So would you settle for that?
Well, it's salary that we can put to potential gun. So, but I mean, Taranto was the one we wanted, and obviously now he's probably gone to Richmond.
Or Collingwood, and we've only got ourselves to blame for that. We fucked that.
Yeah,
he wants to go win a premiership.
Yeah,
we're sitting 4th halfway through the year. Taranto's coming to St Kilda.
We just needed to
Lenny
make
Hayes
the 8.
We need a mid-season trade period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
just needed to make the 8. That's it.
Yeah,
Didn't need to be top 4.
That's exactly
right. Just be competitive.
That's it. Yeah,
not just have
now
those
Collingwood
blowout
have taken
games.
that spot. He'll go there, or he'll go to Richmond. He'll go to Richmond because if Jordan Ngoe stays at Collingwood,
he'll go to Richmond.
He'll go to Richmond
because he'll see Prestia, he'll see an aging Cochin.
I was going to say he's already seen the aging Cochin. Yeah,
he's like, I'm going to be the man man in that midfield.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah. Alrighty, well, it was a bit heated. Yeah, it was very heated. Very heated. Need to get stuff off our chest there, but we'll lighten things up with a bit of Jake's Junk Mail.
Yeah.
Jake's Junk Mail. Jake's Junk Mail. Jake's Junk Mail. Jake's Junk Mail.
What's trending now, Joycey? You're the musician.
What's trending?
Yeah, what's the genre
is
that's
it
really
still techno?
Yeah,
you want a different genre of Jake's Junk Mail?
Yeah.
Maybe K-pop.
Bit of trance?
K-pop. K-pop Jake's Junk Mail. That would actually be so funny. That'd be great.
K-pop's huge. Like, quick digress. Like, when we were in Bali for our wedding, we went to one of the super clubs there, and there was like a K-pop crew, and they must have been money. Like, they had their own sort of like villa kind of thing,
there you go,
or whatever. And they just they had people coming out with these golden AKs, like with Magnum champagne. So like each one of them, we worked out was like $1,000 each.
Yep.
And they would come out with this conga line of like people, like at least like 15 of these AKs on the like pretty much on the half hour. So we worked it out. They probably would have dropped about 50K pops. Like, like, but I don't know. There was a big thing. Everyone was going nuts for the K-pop.
K-pop's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah, let's digress back to
Yankees junk.
Yankees junk mail.
Yankees junk mail.
All right, this one's from Rocky.
Rocky. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Wonder how often that happens to Rocky. Sorry, Rocky, for that.
He loves it.
He loves it. Loves it.
It's not about how hard you hit. What is it?
But how hard you kick it and get back up.
You
You gotta
understand
keep moving
that?
forward.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, Rocky.
So he's
Or is it like Rocky and Bullwinkle?
a great movie, by the way.
Rocky and
Not as good as
Bullwinkle.
Top Gun, but it's right up there.
Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Yeah, the movie.
Isn't it like the cartoon?
Yeah, they did a movie.
Did they?
Yeah, where they come into the real world, which is really cool. And the bad guy is actually Jason Alexander, George from Seinfeld.
Oh, are you
He's
serious?
the evil
That'd
guy
be
in
so
it.
good.
That's a good
Yeah,
twist.
it's from early 2000s. Anyway, so Rocky says, "Gents, love the pod. Thanks for sharing it with us all.
On your Rocky.
Like everyone else, I love everything about Lenny as a player. He was the heart of our club. But are we again getting distracted by sentiment and our need for a messiah? Is he actually a good coach? There are so many instances of great players being ordinary coaches, and nearly all great coaches. Lee Matthews aside, were ordinary players. Thoughts?
You can forgive a favourite son.
Yeah.
That is my thought.
We haven't done it before.
Did Essendon forgive James Heard?
Yeah. No, well,
Collingwood.
some
No, I think
sections
they're
they
about
have.
to. Yeah. They're about to say sorry, I think.
With a lot of money.
Yeah, but like Lenny, like you
It's
know,
Lenny.
It's
You
Lenny.
can forgive a favourite
You
son.
can't- you
That's
can't-
what I thought was going to happen when Alan Richardson was on the way out. Or even Scott Waters at that stage. I was like, I thought that Robert
We go Harvey.
was going to come in. And even if Robert Harvey wasn't successful as a coach, he's got enough of a playing background and those 2 Brownlow medals and playing in grand finals and whatnot, just to say, yeah, that's fine. Like, you gave it a crack. You're our favourite son. We don't hate you.
Yeah.
You know? It's Collingwood and Nathan Buckley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And he nearly won him a flag.
he did. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Should
So-
have.
Should have. Yeah.
This is from Chris. Another junk mail question. Joycey often said this year he wished Ratton would make more positional changes with players. Our forward line consists of King, Membry, Higgins, Butler and a resting ruck, none of which we want to move. Backline has Dukes, Wilkie, Patton, Sinclair, Battle and Webster. Again, not a 6 you want to mess around with. Based on this, the only place we have to make moves are on ball and one forward spot. What moves would you like to see, and does this show we have too many one-dimensional players?
I mean, yeah, and I think Ratton came out and said that, you know, we want players that can play in multiple positions. You know, yet to be seen. But good question, because you talk about you don't want to mess with your forward line. Well, that's great. You just named, you know, 5 players there that you wouldn't take out of your forward line. But if your forward line's not working, then why aren't you making any moves? That's my question. So, you know, not at one stage this year when it was on the line did I see a weird move be made. You know,
Yeah.
you talk about that loss to Port Adelaide where we needed a point to win. That's where your great coaches make just out of the blue moves. Shit, why is Callum Wilkie at full forward? You know, why have they sent Tim Membry as the second defender and Callum Wilkie's at full forward? Because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and the greatest coaches understand this, but they always understand as well it never strikes the same place twice.
Yeah.
You know, so I remember watching Ross Lyon do it when we were getting done by Carlton in 2009. And for the last 5 minutes of the match where we needed a winning goal, he put Zach Dawson at full forward and he kicked the winning goal.
From the boundary.
Yeah. Who knows
Yeah.
what the fuck Zach's going to do? They've been studying Nick Rewalt and Justin Kazitsky for the past 5 weeks because it's going to be the biggest match of the year for them. They haven't been studying what Zach Dawson can do at full forward.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a
it
great
just-
call.
So that's what I mean by moving your positions around. It's not at the start of the game.
Yeah, it's not
You know,
a
it's-
permanent thing, is it?
No.
It's for a 5-minute patch
So
or
if you're
something.
Yeah.
getting your ass whooped, let's do something.
Yeah,
But-
it's like what Alan Richardson used to do with Jack Carlisle.
yeah.
You know, it almost got us over the line against GWS.
Yeah, yeah.
And it should have.
Like the only move we've got is sending Membry into the back line. Like,
Yeah, that's right.
it.
But lightning never strikes the same place twice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's points to that being consistent because you do it late in quarters.
Yeah.
So you can do that late in a quarter with an extra defender, and that's fine.
And even like Dukes, there were some games where he was just getting done. Put him in the forward line.
Yeah.
That goal
He's done it before.
goal he kicked against Port was tremendous.
Port played him forward and he was good there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
He kicked 9 in a Sandford game or something at full forward. So
Yeah.
The man can kick goals.
yeah, and he can take a grab too.
Yeah.
So
Put Kingy back.
they're the type of moves that I mean. It's not, put Ben Long to to the half-back flank, I mean, we did that in the last game and it worked tremendously. But not those sort of moves, but really whack out of kilter moves that just make
when the game's
opposition
already
coach-
done, let's just try something different. We didn't seem to do that at all.
Yeah,
this year.
that's exactly right. Yeah, but depending on how much you're getting done by and if you need to win the game, I think like that Port Adelaide game is the prime example of trying to do something different, but we just failed to do it. So
Yeah.
This is from Max. Evening, guys. Following the birth of Tilly, it's made me think of what I would potentially name my firstborn.
Oh.
Would any of you guys name your child after the next Norm Smith medalist for St Kilda? If it helps, you can make it their middle name.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this reminds me of a TikTok that my sister shared with me last week, and it was this guy. His name was like 11 names. His middle name was so long.
Yeah.
And they asked him why, and he's like, "Yeah, my parents are mad Arsenal fans, and we won the FA Cup in 1979 or
so the
something."
whole the starting squad.
The whole squad is his name.
Jeepers.
He's like Steve, Brad, just all these names, and you're like, that's unbelievable.
Nah, fuck
His
that.
name is the 1979 Arsenal team.
yeah, I'm having 22 kids. I'm having 22 kids, and they're all getting named after the 22 that win that premiership.
Oh, imagine that. Who'd be your favourite?
Lenny.
What? Steele? Would Steele be?
I mean, there'd
Oh,
be a
Steele.
few Jacks, wouldn't there?
That's it.
There'd be a few.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Oh, yeah. Why not? Like, if we're in that position, I'll change Tilly's name by default.
Yeah.
Did you have another one for a boy? Have you got a plan B there?
To be fair, yeah, we didn't really think of names for either gender until we just found out, and then came up with Matilda. But nah, I doubt Aditi would let us go with the Saints name. Actually, yeah, nah.
That's fair.
G Train.
The G Train.
Thanks, Jack.
G Train Junior.
Yeah. Or Joycey Marsh.
Actually, funnily enough, Jonathan's me and Jess's pick for
Oh, would
Jonathan.
you go with a H or just the JON?
JON.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
controversial.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Tony. This one's from Hayden. Great year on the pod, boys. Look forward to it every week. I'm going to miss it over the summer.
Yeah, Hayden.
Nah, we'll be
We'll do
around
as
for a
many as
little bit.
possible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll cram
absolutely.
it. We've got a fair few things going on in the background. It's gonna be-
Hey.
there's going to be
Here we
some
go.
big ones.
It's bubbling away.
Yeah. Have you listened to the recent Nick Riewoldt interview on Dylan Friends? If you
Brilliant.
haven't, it's awesome. I feel like it's a side of Nick we haven't really heard before. One part that stuck out to me was when he says timestamp roughly 37 minutes in. Nick talked about positive affirmations in his second year. 8 weeks into his second season, he was already impatient and wanted to be a really good player. He asked himself what he wanted to be as a player, and he decided he wanted to be the hardest working player in the game. So he would write 100 times a day in a book, Nick Riewoldt is the hardest working player in the game, and 2 or 3 actions that would underpin that. As we know, we look back and we can say that Nick Riewoldt was one of the hardest working players ever. So my question is, in the off-season, what do you think Max King should be writing in his book?
I'm not going to miss goals.
I'm gonna win the Coleman.
Yeah, I'm gonna win. Yeah, I'm gonna win the
Coleman.
Coleman. I'm gonna kick 100 goals.
But I was going to
On
say,
100.
what Nick Riewoldt did there,
It wasn't.
Coleman's and Brownlow's and Best and Fairest, they're all subsequent.
Of that hard work.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be the fittest full forward in the game.
Okay.
So he can almost carbon copy that. Why can't it work for him? So, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, they all come subsequently. After you've put in that hard work. And
I'm
that's
going to
what
be a
happened.
nightmare matchup.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm
And-
going to
and-
be scary to play against.
Spot
Right stuff
on.
like that.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
fair
exactly
He needs to
right.
instill that fear in himself.
Yeah.
And then push it to his opponents.
So I was going to say, 2002, his second season when he started writing that stuff, He won the BNF that year.
And then
Bloke was 20.
03, great. And then 04 was that was the year that everyone was like, shit.
Yeah.
Real
I think everyone was kind of like...
They knew,
shit.
but
Yeah,
like he
this
put it
bloke's
on the scoreboard
Yeah.
more. He was getting up the ground more.
That's exactly right.
And then
He
the rest was
became the
history.
centre-half forward, didn't he?
Yeah. He won the MVP
then.
that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was meant to win the Brownlow in 2005.
But he wasn't All-Australian in 04, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Was he All-Australian
Yeah,
in
I'm
04?
pretty sure he was, yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, we'll have to check it, but yeah.
Beck's asking, thoughts on Cal Wilkie as a potential captain?
Yeah.
Co-captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've touched on that one. I think all three of us were quite happy with the Wilkie Bar kid to be the captain.
Lenny
Not
Hayes
co-captain?
chatted.
Go.
I was going to say Lenny Hayes chatted to Jack Steele about that.
Yeah.
And having co-captains and rotating captains policy, and he was like, "Yeah, I was actually having to talk to Brett Ratton about bringing that in."
Oh, really? Well, do you reckon that was a bit of a piss take? Because that was what GT... Was it GT that did it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Grant Thomas did.
yeah,
that.
yeah. But he was like, "Yeah, no." I think Lenny said he said something along the lines of that in the Jack Steele interview.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be happening.
Yeah,
Jeff has got a couple of questions here. So number one, make the call on Degoe. Does he play for the Saints in 2023? Yes or no?
I don't think he'll leave Collingwood.
Say Collingwood get thumped in both their finals and they go out in straight sets. Does he stay?
I think his passport's stamped. I think he's
think
coming to
he's
the Saints.
You got him? Yeah.
Like we talked about this offline, and I was saying like, the longer this goes, the longer that there's no announcement, the more likely it is that he's leaving. To me, at least.
True. Yeah, because
Like if you're going into a big final series and you are already committed to this club, regardless of if you win the flag or you get knocked out in straight sets,
Yeah.
you're like, before final starts on that week off,
yeah,
I'm signing that deal. We're announcing it. The fans are going nuts. They've just hit 100,000 members,
Yeah.
and then they're playing a qualifying final against who are they playing? Geelong.
Yeah,
You're like, this is buzzing. Like this is
Yeah.
Buzztown.
yeah.
But he's not done that.
No.
It's like,
But like, if you
I
could
don't
just
know.
like, if you just pull a number from your tush boys, what do you think Collingwood would be offering him?
It'd be the
50.
650.
I reckon.
I think it's close to almost, maybe just a bit under what we're offering. It's the years. It's the big difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We're offering 4 to 5. They're offering just the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you look at it and you're like, more money, 2-3 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be the big dog. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's got a bit to, and they've got very strict rules in place. If he messes up in any capacity ever again,
Yeah.
he's gone.
Which brings me to this question: will he ever play a game for St Kilda?
All right,
Will he come to the club?
So you said no.
And will well?
What are you saying?
Yay or nay?
Yay or nay? Say it.
in terms of
Is
he
he going to
coming?
be? Is he going to be a Saint?
off of what you've said? Yes. Because you call it.
What an
'Cause you called
arsehole.
it. But that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't have the information on it.
I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to be a Saint. I don't know.
Yeah,
reckon
I've been
he's gonna
workshopping his hymns.
Won't be surprised
I'm not
if he
gonna
doesn't
lie.
play
Yeah,
games.
yeah. You know the tune, C'est la vie.
Yeah.
By Bewitched.
You know, some people say I look like me dad.
I wish I knew that reference. I'm just laughing anyway.
It's at the start of the song.
All right, and he's got a second question, by the way.
Okay.
Say you do what I don't. Say you will.
All right, that's enough. Number 2, any other players that you feel the Saints will be right into in the off-season? Any other players we're going for? Because we're losing track of them now. Amon's done. Taranto's gone.
Hit the draft. It's forcing us to hit the draft, and I'd love to.
Dino.
Logue.
Yeah.
He's not signed
Apparently
yet.
he's going to Sydney.
Huh?
Yeah.
Apparently he wants to go to Sydney.
What about Paddy Dow?
Yeah, apparently Griffin Logue says don't meet
Did you get Paddy Dow?
Nah. We've already got him.
Carlton?
No,
Ryan
he
Burns.
sucks. No.
All right, that answers the question.
We've already got a failed number 3 draft pick, so.
All right,
Oh, Joycey.
let's not even get into it.
But Dino said something pretty funny the other day when we were watching the girls' game and about JDG and just our position in terms of the trade table. We're akin to someone, just a desperate lad, just at the club, just bouncing around from girl to girl and just getting donuts and going, okay, and just move over to the next one. And then it's just a matter of like whoever the last one's left on the dance floor. And at this stage, it appears to be JDG. So
Yep.
we're desperate.
This one's from Ethan. Simple question again.
Oh, yeah.
Are we going to make the 8 next year?
They're our favourite questions.
This is a good question, genuinely.
Yeah.
Are we top 8 next year?
I'd like to think so.
Oh, who knows?
Yeah. Well, if you ask me the mid-season break, are we top 8? It's like fucking oath we are.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Top 4, baby.
I'm going to say yes. I think we'll turn it
Yeah,
around.
we have to, yeah.
You got to say yes.
You gotta say yes.
Lenny's going to make it happen.
Lenny will know.
Oh,
what to do.
God, you're looking for the Messiah again. I told you
I'm
not
kidding.
to.
I'm stirring. It's all right. We don't have a Messiah. We have a Messiah.
Yeah, that's
it.
exactly right.
Yeah, that was a crisp call. That was a crisp call.
So are we?
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
This one's from Kerry. How do you think we will go in the AFLW this season? I'll throw it to Marshy. What's your gut feel, mate?
Oh, I reckon we saw a very good snapshot of what Dall's been working on. They really want to run and carry, take on the aggressive kicks, which, it's kind of easier said than done in any level, really. Same with the lads.
Yeah.
But I think the girls are really steering away from that, the safe, down the line kicking sort of business.
Yeah.
And we've got the personnel. We just need to be fortunate with injuries. So we haven't got the touch Mason Wood. Well, that didn't come off very well. But yeah, I think that the recruits that we brought in, Nick Stevens, Erin McKinnon, especially in that ruck position, she was massive. So we don't have the depth of the other teams, but if we can keep our best on the park, GP's back, there's no reason why, we beat Sydney, played very well. We're going to roll Hawthorn. There's no ifs, buts or maybes about that.
There's blood there.
There's blood.
There's bad blood there.
There's bad blood. And, so I reckon 2-0, that sets up the season well. It's a pretty tough fixture, as it always is after that, but I reckon we could be sniffing finals. I think everything, because the most important thing, and again our lads can learn from this, is, and I've seen it firsthand, the inner sanctum at the meals and all of that, just everything, and what everyone else would have seen, the girls singing their song. They're a connected bunch.
Oh, aren't they just?
They're playing as one, and they do everything as one. So they're, a lot of the teams have their marquee players. We don't. It's spread across the list.
Yeah.
So I think that transpires into our gameplay. So all things being equal, I don't see why we can't be playing finals.
Yeah, spot on.
Love that.
I was going to say, they are an entertaining bunch.
Yeah.
Like, watching their social medias go off.
Oh, they're characters.
They are unholds barred, hilarious comedy 24/7.
Yeah.
That is what you want out of an AFL club.
Yep.
Like, they're all mates.
Yeah.
They are all mates there.
Yeah.
And that is just awesome. Like,
And you see, like, on, say, Instagram, so, like, the Isle 29 handle, all I have on there is Saints players, right?
Yeah.
And so you can see, like, who likes what and things like that. You see, there's the usual suspects from the lads, from any club content that's put out.
Yeah.
It's the usual suspects from the lads. It's like your Dan Hannabrys,
Yeah, he
your
likes
Ben
everything.
Long, maybe a Jade
Sharman.
Gresham.
Sharman's getting on there.
Yeah, but outside of that, it stops. Whereas the girls, for whether it be AFL, for the men's or the women's content, they're loving everything. They're getting behind it. They're commentating. They're commenting on it.
Well,
they're just getting involved.
they're relishing in the experience of being at an AFL football club.
Yeah.
Where sometimes the lads lack that.
Yeah.
They've been fed, spoon-fed their whole careers from juniors because they've been talented at football. AFLW is fresh.
Yeah,
It is fresh. So to play in an inaugural sort of team and culture around AFLW, like, they just look genuinely excited to be there because
it's them, it's their culture.
Yes.
They're the first of this team. Do you know
yeah,
what
but
I mean?
they've all got these lives outside of football. So it's almost as if the pressure's off when you get into the
yeah. They're
into
doing
the
this for
club.
fun.
They're doing this for fun.
It's almost like the lads need to get into that sort of mindset, and like the girls don't have they don't have that pressure of trying to win a second flag from another AFLW team 60 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
We did note on that they
So,
didn't have 140.
That's exactly right. There's no wooden spoons. They don't have to think about that. Our boys do.
Yes.
But in some way, they need to somehow rid themselves of that. Get rid of that weight.
Yes.
And just enjoy the the moment I'm an AFL
love
player,
being
I
there.
play for St Kilda,
Yeah.
and I'm going to play the best I can to
Yeah.
win the flag. Not win a second flag.
Yeah.
Just win the flag.
Oh, there's just so
Don't
much
label
pride
it
there.
anything.
Yeah.
There's so
You know?
much pride in the Guernsey, isn't
Yeah.
there? There's so much blood.
Outside of the premiership drought, outside of that, there's still so much.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's what you see Richmond built their dynasty on. You
Yeah.
know, being all connected and all as one and all being mates and just, you know, loving each other. Lads.
Boys.
But yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Lasses.
Lasses.
Yes.
Yeah,
Get
the
around
girls.
Because,
Yeah, the
you know, I'll
girls.
tell you what. Go follow them on your social media pages. It is
100%.
a fucking laugh. It is so much fun, and it'll make you want to get down to more games.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I suppose while we've got like this little
speaking of-
spotlight, I've been charged with, I might have mentioned it before, I did mention it before, but spearheading the AFLW cheer squad. So, you know, if you're listening out there, we're going to be behind the goals every week, you know, for the Victorian Games and just making a bit of noise. So if you're involved, you can come out, hold up the banner, cheer the girls on. But ultimately, we just want to get numbers, representation behind the goals because they fucking deserve it.
Yep.
Right, so I'm not going to be putting the pressure on people to come out and do up the hymns and things like that because that's a bit tech for this stage.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got a few basic chants that I reckon they're going to be a bit of fun to do, and it kicks off with this week against Hawthorn 4:10 down at Box Hill Oval. So it's Father's Day. Bring your dads. And we'll go watch the girls. But yeah, if you're keen on joining the cheer squad, then message us on the aisle 29 or the Saints TV and Jakey will send you my way. But we want as many numbers as possible.
Absolutely.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Perfect. And on that
Amazing.
note, that is the last junk mail. I
Awesome.
thought very good way to finish. Talking about the
Fantastic.
girls. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, do we have much else to...
No, not
Discuss
really. I
here.
mean, there's always a lot, but I think we've covered all the bases.
Yeah, because I reckon we're going to have a bevy of trade chat. Like, I don't know, it's such a shit time of the year. That's why it's so good the girls are on because they give us something to look forward to. I could not be less interested in the blokes finals at the moment just because this year stings a little bit more because we should, or at least we expected to be there this year.
Whereas last year
Big
was
time.
halfway through the year we knew already. Even
Yeah,
before
we
that,
done,
we're like,
yeah.
be lucky to finish 10th. But yeah.
Well, that's right, yeah. And at what halfway point, we're like, oh, geez, top 4, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that
Exactly
North
right.
game in the box as well.
Oh, yeah.
That was 83. That was that moment.
That's grim. And super quick, whilst we're sort of on the AFLW thread, thanks to everyone listening to the Talking Saints FCW that I, you know, co-host with Nat X on. It's excellent that, you know, quite a few people sort of reached out to us and had, you know, tuned in. It's definitely not as crisp as in terms of sound wise because we don't have a Matty Joyce. So, and we're doing it remotely. So if you can sort of move past the audio quality, it's more the content that really stands up. So we'll be getting some special guests on this week.
Beautiful.
I reckon maybe a cheeky Tarny, maybe a cheeky,
it.
maybe a
Stop
Tarny,
it.
maybe a
Now,
Tarny.
now.
So, you know, but we've got a whole. The girls are just begging to come onto the show. So
Love it.
rest assured, they'll be getting some good saintly content.
Beautiful, mate.
We love it.
Good job.
We love it. Beautiful. All right. Well, on that top notch note.
Absolutely.
Sunday, 4:10.
Box Hill.
4:10, Box Hill Sports Ground. Make sure you get down with your fathers. I would be down there, but I'm heading down to Rosebud. So I think the following week is at RSEA.
No.
They're away again, I
Yeah,
think.
away again.
Oh,
so
fuck. Rough trot.
I reckon. I think is it Gold Coast? I don't know. I haven't really looked too far into the fixture. I just know it's 4 weeks. We go back to RSEA.
Okay.
So
God.
September 11, the Sunday, against Melbourne.
Against Melbourne. Ooh, big
that's a
contest.
big
RSEA.
game.
Yeah, all right. I'll be at
Jeepers.
that one. Alrighty, fellas. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure as always.
Absolutely.
More news throughout the week. It's only Monday.
Yep, plenty of news coming.
And yeah, I think we're going to finish off. What's that? You got a bit of a joke there, do you, Mark?
yeah, it goes a little something like this, boys. It goes a bit knock knock.
Oh, who's there?
Owen.
Oh, and who?